BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information, from live in-game betting prompts and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BLEAV 50, to receive 50% off your welcome bonus. Bet online, where the game starts. Guys, welcome on in to another mini Moto Monday where me, myself, and I, Jenna Duddleston, give you a short, sweet podcast to kickstart your week and get you in the right mindset, okay? So guys, I love having you here. I hope you enjoy these. I know I do. And today I've been wanting to talk about this for a while now, but to be honest, I kind of didn't know how to talk about it. So I always like to kind of process a little bit of what I'm going through or what it is that I want to talk about before I can come on here and talk to you guys. So just so I can come at it with we'll say like a 360 perspective on it, right? And so today we're talking about what happens when you outgrow people. And we're going to get into this, and I'm really excited because when I finally was able to like sit down and really think about this and kind of write out some of the talking points I wanted to give you guys, I just know that they're really going to help you. Before we do this, I have some quick call to actions for anyone who is listening. First off, if you are a first-time listener, guys, welcome to Bar Talk. Seriously, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're a returning regular and customer of mine, guys, welcome back. I love having you here week in and week out. If you are an audio listener, guys, I ask that you take 60 seconds out of your day to do the following, okay? Make sure you're following the podcast along wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star rating and a little review. You can literally do it right now, okay? It helps more than you know. It means the absolute world to me, and I want more people to come, and the more that people are engaged and following and liking the podcast, the more people come to the podcast. So I would really appreciate that. If you are a video consumer of mine, guys, hello. Great to see you. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube page. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a little comment. Hit the bell notification, all right? Number 3, make sure you're following us along if you are not completely fucking sick of hearing from me yet. You can follow Bar Talk on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikToks. We have minis on Monday, full episodes on Thursdays, and drink of the week on Fridays. All right, guys? That is all I have for you today. Right? Yeah. And those are my calls to action. Okay. So that's it. Okay. That's it. Those are done. Now let's get into why you actually came here. What do we do when we outgrow people? Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. First off, guys, I just want to say that I've missed you. I kind of took a little bit more time off than I needed. I got really sick last week, which sucks. I don't like to get sick. I'm never someone who gets sick. And when you're sick in a sense where your voice doesn't sound right, it just absolutely blows. And I don't know if you can hear it. I'm still a little bit nasally, but wanted to jump on here and obviously talk to you guys about this. So today we're discussing the idea of what happens when you've outgrown someone, you know? And it's ironic that I've been wanting to talk about this for some time now. And it wasn't until my florist Magda sent me this Mel Robbins post on Instagram, and I knew that I needed to talk about this. I was like, okay, I get it. Sign from the universe, message received, loud and clear. Thanks, guys. So I want to share with you guys that post. So, and this post made me realize that we needed to talk about this. And in the photo, it's a photo of Mel Robbins, and it says, "Don't feel bad about outgrowing people who had the chance to grow with you." Heavy. Okay, now here's the caption. And this is once I read this, I was like, Mel, like if she was here, I'd hug her. Mel, I'm like, hugging you metaphorically, if that makes sense, if you ever hear this or whatever. So this is what the caption says on Mel Robinson's Instagram page. It says, "When you start to change, every relationship in your life will change too. That's because relationships are all about energy. Energy doesn't lie. Energy either clicks or it feels off. When you grow in a new direction, your energy shifts in the same new direction. That's why relationship shifts. It's why some friends will start to feel off while others seem to click immediately. The friends that start to fade are growing and changing too, just in a different direction. And those new friends appear because they are growing and changing in the same direction you are. You enhance each other's growth. That's why you click. Pretty cool, huh? It's normal for relationships to fade, to click, to come, and to go. It's also normal for people to come back into your life when you both start growing in the same direction again. Pay attention. If something clicks, it's meant for you. If something feels off, it's not. Don't feel bad. Trust it. It's just an energy thing. Okay. I know for myself, I think part of growing up, I think something that I always feared, what would happen when or if I outgrew someone? Does that make me a bad person? Do they think I'm being better than them? Do they think I no longer care about them? I also go back to the way, that just movies and television and things are kind of portrayed onto us. And there's always this like negative connotation, I feel like sometimes in movies where it's like, oh my God, you've changed. And it's like, yeah, I have. I grew. It's not a bad thing, But I think growing up as a kid, there was always this like maybe a little fear. And I don't know if anyone else had this, but like, you obviously still want to be with your people that you love and the people that you meet along the way. But like, what happens when you outgrow someone? I would ask myself all of these questions, but there's two things that come back to my mind now when I think about really outgrowing people. And the first conversation I had honestly was with one of my friend's aunts down in Florida. And I'll never forget this. She said to me, people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And believe me, you'll know which one they fall under. And I had never heard anyone say that before up until that moment. And even now, I'm always like, people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And part of that season, reason, or lifetime is if it's a season or a reason, well, actually, with this instance, we'll go with season specifically. People come into your season and it's just for a moment. It's like if you watch a play, not every character is in it from beginning to end, and that's okay. They come in because they teach you something, or you've outgrown them, or whatever it is that comes up. So remember that if you feel like you're at this point where you're outgrowing people, that people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. So I always think of that. The second thing I always think about is Mr. Feeney. Now, I don't know if I have any Boy Meets World fans that are listening to this, but there was an episode. It's one of almost the last episodes. But I love a good Mr. Feeney wisdom, especially when it comes from his fence, because that's where the Feeney's knowledge I felt like always lied. And I wanted to share with you guys one of my favorite Mr. Feeney scenes. Take a listen.
I'll have the usual.
Hi, Corey.
It's Mr. Matthews. Mr. Feeney, come on, Mr. Matthews. I like it when you call me Mr. Matthews. That's what you used to call me when I was a kid. That's what I want.
Fine. Mr. Matthews.
Okay, well, come on, stand by the fence. Your best advice always came right here from the fence.
Hey, Mr. Feeney, what you doing?
Okay, what can I do for you?
Okay. Topanga's got this job offer. Okay, she's got an internship at a law firm in New York City. And she turned it down because of me. Wait a minute, how did you know that?
What if she didn't turn it down because of you?
Of course she did. You're wrong about this one, Mr. Feeney. You're really slipping. Okay, this is your moment. Now get me.
You see that flower?
Yes, a garden metaphor. I love the garden metaphor. I just love it.
That flower was in a small pot in my living room, but it outgrew its surroundings, so I transplanted it here in the garden.
Seems like it's doing okay.
Oh, yes, it's flourishing. Now, Topanga always thrived here. She was successful in whatever she did. Here.
Well, I think she'd be successful anywhere.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, of course I do.
Does she?
What?
Did you know that before she decided not to go to Yale, she came to my office to talk to me?
About me, right? She didn't want to go to Yale because of me.
Yes, that's what she said.
You mean it wasn't about me?
Now, when I pulled the flower out of the small pot in my living room, it resisted a little, you know. It tried to hang on by its roots. I had to force it out.
Because you thought it would do better out here. In the world, right?
No, because I thought if I left it there, it would stop growing.
You're putting my puny plant in the ground?
Your plant, though immature and undeveloped, has within it the potential to grow and flower. With the help of a proper gardener.
You think so?
Oh, yes. As long as no one wishes it ill.
If I left it there, it would stop growing. I'm going to give you all a minute to let the wisdom from Mr. Feeney's fence sink in. If I left it there, it would stop growing. It's heavy, and it's true. If we stay where we're at, we stop growing. We stop evolving. We stop ourselves from becoming what it is that we're meant to become. So the truth, guys, is what happens when you've outgrown people, it really means you're growing into a better version of yourself. And you have two choices, okay? You can stay and feel this need to be where you're at with people and places. And honestly, you might get a little resentful of what's around you. Or you can say thank you. You can live in gratitude of the people that entered your life for a season. These people helped you become better. They helped you grow into the person that you were meant to be. And how beautiful is that? And here's the other thing. They don't need to know that. They really don't. You can share that if you want. But you don't have to give people that closure. You create your own closure. But guys, this is for you. This is for you and for only you, okay? So when you live in gratitude for the people you've outgrown, you get put into another pot. You see if you're going to grow and flourish and thrive. And here's the other thing about outgrowing people. It doesn't mean it needs to be this like messy, big, abrupt, dramatic ending. It just means you're moving onward and hopefully upward. It means you're growing with you. It means that you've picked yourself, guys. And picking yourself means that you're choosing you. And I always think of there's this like beautiful Brene Brown quote, and she talks about like never abandoning yourself. And you can, it's like, you know, things are there are certain things in life that we can negotiate, but you should never negotiate who you are in your essence, in your soul, in your being. You never negotiate your worth of who you are. And part of that means when you do that, you've compromised yourself and you haven't picked yourself. Okay. And you've abandoned yourself. And you may have, made this other person happy, but at the end of the day, you haven't picked you. And if you don't pick you guys, no one's going to pick you. Okay. And right now in this moment of growth that maybe you're experiencing, or maybe you might be going through and you don't really understand why, when you pick you, you're continuing to grow. And here's the other thing, guys, like you have to pick you because no one else is going to pick you. Yeah, you may like have friends and family and loved ones that care about you and support you. Of course they do. But the reality is you're your own number one and no one else. And if you're not your own number one, you're no one's. Okay. I know it can be scary. And guess what? It can also be the beginning of something really more beautiful to come. I find it really funny that my florist sent me that when the Feeny was a garden metaphor. God, that's really interesting. I just realized that. Okay. Hello. Love this moment. But yeah, guys, I that's kind of today's show. Short, sweet, to the point. Um, you know, I hope you take this with you in your day. I hope it leaves you thinking. And I hope that if you're at a crossroad where you feel like you've outgrown a person or maybe even outgrown a place, that you remember that you pick you, because picking you means that you grow, and it means that it can be the beginning of something beautiful. Okay. Yeah, there might be a little resistance getting out of that pot, like Mr. Feeney said, but eventually when you put it in a new surrounding and a new soil, you're going to do great. Okay. It's not in our human nature to, we don't like change, but change is inevitable. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. And remember to take the time to realize that we have way more in common with each other than we have different. I will see you next week. Take care.
Hey, everybody, it's closing time. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.